meditation is the key to freedom and basically liberating yourself. Let me explain.
Reverse the reverb, the reverse the verse. Under the light of the moon, my soul lights brighter than an afternoon. Chillin' in the sun in New York State, the state with mad fake snakes that'll your fate and fucking eat it like it's a plate full of food. You either fuck with the mood, or the mood fucks with you and makes you lose, and takes you to different places. You better be patient if you wanna avoid being wasted by some killer cop racist tendencies. You do hate this rhyme scheme in the way that I place it. The delivery is packaged and constructed in a way for you to taste it. The bass kicks, flips, the composition rips. R.I.P. to the beat. My opposition is stopping wishes. They've given up. I've risen up. What?
What I realized recently, I had a crazy realization. Basically, ego is one thing. God, or the infinite intelligence, creator, however you want to put it, that's everything. It's a part of everything. Whatever, however, whoever God is, infinite intelligence is, that's literally a part of everything, and it indwells in everything and is everything. And you know, ego, on the other hand, is all about separation, and it's all about just, it's one thing. So what I realized was, is my organite, and that's moldavite. By the way, I had this made for me. Anyways, I'm just gonna be holding this right here to increase the energy. Basically, what I realized was, I'm just gonna read you my tweets. Let me just read you my tweets, what I wrote, cause I had a crazy realization, and it revolves around like attachment of basically, when you're attached to your thoughts, that's basically being attached to the ego. Let me just read you my tweets. Crazy realization. Okay, I said, here we go. I just had the ultimate epiphany. The reason why I'm suffering and in pain so much is because I'm closing myself off from God due to my ego on a subconscious level. Insanity is the absence of God in the ultimate way. Attachment to the human ego is insanity, because attachment to the ego is the ego's way of basically saying that it's God. But the ego isn't God. The ego is one thing. God is everything. I'm basically unconsciously attached to my ego and therefore becoming more and more insane. Like, the feeling I have of something inside of me imploding / going crazy is basically just God forcing the disconnection of me being attached to my ego and me unconsciously resisting it. Or not even God forcing it, but God just being God, just God being God, and me unconsciously resisting that truth and reality, and holding on to the belief and feeling that the ego is God. This is dangerous because the ego, being only one thing, basically represents separation. Separation goes against nature. When you fight nature, you get fucked up. Don't believe me? Try to never sleep again. Don't drink water ever again. If the world never had children again, humanity would eventually cease to exist. If plants were never watered, they would all die. If you never did what you loved ever, you would get sick. You would get really sick. And probably have an early death. Quite possibly. And then I said, I can't believe it. And I can't. This entire time I've been thinking that I'm not in my ego, but I absolutely am. I'm attached to my ego on a subconscious level. I'm completely attached to my ego. What the bleep? Another epiphany I think I just had. And this one's crazy. This is a crazy epiphany. Thoughts are the language of the ego. When you realize that, that's crazy. Let me just keep reading. They're not in and of themselves bad, but when your thoughts dominate your entire being and existence / reality, then what you basically have is your ego communicating through your thoughts that it's in control and is God. So the solution to detaching from detaching from the ego and its totalitarian control and claims of being God is stop being attached to your thoughts. Attachment of thoughts will basically lead to insanity. Detachment of thoughts leads to freedom. Because detachment of thoughts is detachment of ego. Detachment of ego is no longer closing yourself off from resisting God. Closing yourself off from / resisting God. It sounds weird and simple, but meditation accomplishes this. Right meditation, of course. And I'm going to speak about what right meditation is. And it must be a habit. It must be a way of life. Like brushing your teeth, eating food, drinking water. The more you meditate the right way and detach from your thoughts in doing so, the more free you become. How crazy of a realization is that when you really connect with that and come to terms with that? And it's so simple. People with radical views and beliefs that completely goes against nature may struggle significantly with this, because when you start becoming detached from your thoughts, you start to automatically align with true beliefs. Just things that are true. That which is true. And people will automatically be inclined to reject true beliefs. Depending on their conditioning, it could easily feel like their world is falling apart. Or that detaching from your thoughts is actually a very, very bad thing. Imagine growing up your whole life genuinely believing in Santa Claus. Spoiler alert. Nah. And then as you start to detach from your thoughts and become free, you start to automatically develop the awareness and move towards understanding that Santa Claus is simply a fictional character. It gets even trickier when things like politics becomes involved. Imagine believing a certain politician or even president is a positive figure or represents positive things they don't actually believe in, etc. And then detaching from your thoughts and realizing it was all just a lie. This is basically why society is insane. And then I said, first of all, I need to check myself. First of all, I need to check my fucking self. So, basically, meditation is the key to freedom. And there's a reason why. And understanding the reason why is like insane when you realize it. It's because the ego, and you've heard this before, but like it's hard to kind of understand. But I'm trying to make it easy to understand. And it's cliche, but the ego is the cause of all suffering. It really is. And the reason why is because there's God or infinite intelligence, creator, whatever your belief is pertaining to creator or the creators, whatever. There's that, and then there's the ego. The ego is just one thing. It's not, and it's all about separation. Okay? And we all know, if you believe in God, you get where I'm coming from, or, creators. You understand, or at least get to a level and degree that that's everything. And that, like, God is like the ultimate. And when you put your faith in God, all things are possible. Ego, when ego is like, no, I'm God, that's just gonna make you go insane, bro. And when you put it in practical terms, the thoughts are the language of the ego. So when the thoughts dominate your entire life, you're basically just insane, because my video just cut off. You basically believe that your thoughts are like God, and that's all that God is. So can you understand why, when your thoughts dominate, you're always anxious, right? You're always anxious, you're always depressed, you always feel like you need to do something. And no matter what you do, it's never enough. That's because your ego is basically going, I'm God, I'm in control. Do this thing and you'll be free. Ha 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 ha, but then it laughs in the background. I said this before, but ego is basically devil. It's the devil. Ego, evil. Now, evil is subjective. Evil, in my opinion, doesn't really exist. There's just God, and then there's the absence of God. There's light, heavenly light, and then there's the absence of light. When you're attached to your ego, you're blocking yourself off from God. And in blocking yourself off from God, how are you going to be free? How are you going to be normal? How are you going to have good things? God is all about abundance and freedom, bro. Like God, like hello, God. Those who like believe in God get at least to a degree what I'm saying. Those who don't, it's okay. Just continue on your path. You watching this video, you're moving in the right direction, So yeah. So when you're attached to your ego, you're closing yourself off from God, and like, how are you? You're literally preventing yourself from being free, like. And so the solution is so simple. I don't mean to repeat myself, but repetition creates neural pathways in the brain that allow for habits to be created, so that you can become ratcheted and the right understanding and taking the right actions on a consistent level. That's just that's how it is. So I'm trying to ground you guys in this. I don't just want you to know this and then walk away and then keep being like attached to the ego. So when you're attached to the ego, you're insane, bro. You're moving more and more towards insanity, because insanity is just saying no. God? No! I don't know. God, stay away from me. God, no. God, the light. You know what I mean, though? Like, bro, that's insane. Like, just allow God to come through and work through you. And be one with God. Be connected. Be unified. God is connected to all. Everyone is connected. Everything is connected. The universe. We're all one in supreme light. And ego is like, no, I'm the light. Ha ha. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? So the takeaway of this video is meditation. All you need to do is just in order to detach from the ego, because remember, thoughts are, this is kind of my philosophical belief, and maybe this is actually true in a practical sense, but thoughts are kind of like the language of the ego in a sense. So all you need to do, and again, the ego in itself isn't bad, it's when it dominates and goes, I'm God. You know what I mean? So it's like all you need to do to stop that domination of the ego, pulling yourself and keeping yourself away from God, being one with God and allowing God into your life, is to meditate. Stop allowing the ego to be in control and to dominate. And so how do you do this? What's the right way to meditate? What is meditate? It's simply just not allowing your thoughts to control you, bro, and to dominate. Which is basically the ego no longer having a grip over you. And so here's a practical thing you can do, which is what meditation is, which isn't talked about, which annoys me. When you meditate, just observe your thoughts without judgment. Sit for 5 minutes. Slow and steady wins the race. That's what Tai Lopez taught me when I've been taking his courses. When you just observe 5 minutes, and then you can work your way up. But start small and go from there. You don't want to jump the gun. Just observe your thoughts. If the thought of a purple elephant monster comes into your mind, don't judge it. Just allow it to be like clouds. When you watch a cloud, you don't go, oh, why is that cloud? Some people do this, but who cares, bro? Just let clouds, when you watch clouds, you just watch them pass, and then you continue to watch the sky. Same thing with your thoughts. Just watch each thought that passes by. Don't judge it, and let it go by. And then just let them go by. And don't judge them. Just breathe. Like right now, I'll do it right now. I hope maybe you can feel like the energy. Like, alright. Thoughts are coming into my mind. I'm just watching them. I'm observing them. I'm not judging them. And in doing so, there's a level of silence and peace. I can't describe it to you. It's unbelievable. It's something so simple, but for some reason we're not like aware of. It's crazy. It's like it's so simple, but we're not aware. All you do, and alright, it's like jogging. If you're out of shape, jogging for a certain period of time, you'll lose breath and you'll be tired. Same thing when you meditate. It might be hard to do it for 10 minutes. To straight up just observe thoughts without judgment, but then you remember something else and you're like, oh, that person bothered me. And then you start feeding that. No. If you start feeding something, it's okay. Just don't judge yourself feeding it. It's literally like a game. Like, just be like, oh, I'm finding myself getting mad over this. Okay, don't judge yourself. Just observe yourself getting mad. Oh, man, I'm mad. Huh. What's my next thought? Huh. Oh, okay. Don't even wonder what the next thought is, you know? So yeah, I hope that helped you guys. Yeah. Freedom. 2021 revolution.
Get bruised up from the pistol whipping. The pistol is my mind and my mind is the design. My lyrics are the crystals and the crystals glisten. Then get sliced up. Your rhythm gets knifed up. Psychic annihilation, words of a wild ancient soul. Rebirth, the rehearse, the reverse. Reverse, the reverb, the reverse, the verse. The verse versus the curse to enslave the human race. Inner hurts, it hurts, but the pain transmute this. No computer chip can't compute this. Split wires glitched, I slice through the matrix. Energy is infinite like that of an oasis. On heavenly land, I got a heavenly plan. Listen to these words for heaven to be handed to us. Heaven to be handed to us.